I'm going to talk about more of the things that SolidWorks can do. First is a right click. When you right click on something, it comes up with a menu that applies to that item. You can delete it or whatever, create a new sketch. Remember, there's commands up above as well as commands below. Watch for this drop down. There might be more commands. There's a lot of commands in SolidWorks, so you might have to go drop down, drop up, things like that, go up, and so forth. Okay, just click anywhere to get out of the right click. Context sensitive toolbar. So now, the little arrows next to the commands gives you different ways to do things. Or consolidated, that should be consolidated, sorry, that's what they call it, consolidated toolbar. So you can create different things. Center line is useful. It's not part of the object. It is a construction line. It's just there for your reference. It's a construction line. In mechanical drafting, they called it a construction line. It's also used as a normal center line for centering holes and the like. Okay, system feedback icon. So aerial patterns, something area. It shows a little symbol of a square, things like that. So your pointer changes around. And let's just create a new sketch. And it's going to say what plane or face. I'll do it on that face. There's my new sketch. Now, I'm going to do something like draw a circle. And I'll draw a circle on it. Center point circle. There. I'll draw a circle. Now, confirmation corner. The green check mark says, yes, I want to do this. There's a green check mark over here on this side also. You notice a red X? Cancel. Red X is for canceling. It'll discard the changes. So everything I just did never happened. Okay, heads up toolbar is all this stuff up here. Zoom to fit, selection, I already showed that a little while back. Previous view, this is the section view, I showed that a little while back here. And then there's other things that we pretty much don't use. It's more advanced. Displays annotations, view orientation, same as a space bar. This is display style, so you can select if you just want to see a wireframe, you want to see hidden lines, no hidden lines, things like that. Normally you'd leave it here, and that's just shaded, a shaded view. Hide or show the different things, including the origin, for example, temporary axes, things like that. Appearances, so you can make it white, different colors, scene, so you have a checkerboard behind it or whatever, and then how you want things to look, shadows and so forth. So for engineers, that's not so useful. For graphic artists, it's kind of useful. The orientation dialog box I already mentioned. Hit the space bar. That's what that does. And you can choose whatever orientation. You can choose how the layout is also. I'm not going to change the orientation. Control space bar. It doesn't give the little orientation views. You can select the view this way. You can click on something here to get a different view. Let's do that. I want to see the top view. I can just click on that. Okay, previous view. Okay, you can put the command manager wherever you want it to. So you can drag it out, grab a tab, drag it. There we go. There it's dragging out, and drop it. So you can move it around to wherever you want to. Now, when you want to put it back, there's these little things right here. I can dock it to the left, dock it to the top, which is the default, or to the right, and put it back where it was. Now, what I'm about to show you are things that change with each version of SolidWorks. So, in the 2020 version, you right-click here, and you can use large buttons with text, and it minimizes the command manager. Right-click again, enable large buttons with text. Right-click again, disable the command manager altogether, and it collapses completely. Right-click in the top bar, and you can enable the command manager, so it comes back. In the 2021 version, there's supposed to be a little button right here that you can collapse or expand the command manager. This is what's called the feature manager. This area over here. It shows all the features. You can click on one, you can get the properties, all sorts of things like that. And it's got several, mostly you'll be dealing with this, but it's got several other things too. Property manager, configuration. Anyway, you will learn about all this stuff later. You can collapse it. You can move it left and right. Excuse me, that's what these little arrows do. And of course you could hide and show like this. I've shown you that before. Options here. Let's go settings. You can change all sorts of things, customize all sorts of things. Of course, when you do that, it's easy to get lost too. So for example, you can go to the feature manager and customize what do you want to show, what don't you want to show, things like that. Probably two settings we may use a lot are this and under document properties, drafting standard, ANSI. We use ANSI. Other people might use ISO. So America is ANSI. Other places, ISO. And units. So we can change the units here. Dimensions, that's kind of useful too. I'll show that. And that's precision. How you can change the precision of the dimensions. You can also change units right down here. It's the second place to change units. Flyout feature pattern. I'm going to right click on this LP pattern here and edit it. And where's my editing? There's my editing tool. Edit this feature. Now, when I do that, I'll get a dialog that pops up. There we go. Here's the dialog. But I also need the feature manager. There it is. Right up here. This is what's called the flyout feature manager. So the feature manager never goes away. Of course, I didn't really want to edit it. I just wanted to show you the flyout. We've already gone through these tabs, task pane a little bit, and I've already talked to you about tutorials. This is a nice little feature right here. It's called search commands. So if I wanted to wrap, for example, it takes me to the command. It doesn't take me to the help system. It takes me to the command. So now it just opens it up. And you can go through and do a wrap. For example, you can do it on anything, actually. This will be useful later so that we can create drawings from our three-dimensional parts. And I won't go into scenes, decals, and stuff like that much because it has mostly to do with appearance. For engineering, we really don't need it. If you want it to look pretty for presentation, you might do this. Okay, custom properties. Again, lots of different ways to customize SolidWorks, and I'm not going to go through them. Motion study tab. This can be kind of cool. So you have your motion study tab. You've clicked on the motion study up here. You can collapse or expand it, which I'm doing right now. Animate. So here's an animation. I can just, this is a simple animation. And it could be useful. You can create a video of it, things like that. Finish. There we go. And now play it. So now it'll rotate the part. So there's lots more you could do, obviously, but this is a good introduction. Go back to model. So model-based design, some 3D views, that is right here. Model-based design. Some companies, this tab, I'll click on it. But some companies can handle things, they're going beyond drawings. Not everybody does it now. The standard drawings are still very standard. But you can capture a 3D view. It's called model-based design. Okay, dynamic reference. Now this will come later. User interface. When you want to see a parent or child relationship of a part, it can visualize what's going on. This will be very useful later when we're doing with mates and assemblies and things like that. Okay, mouse movement. Select an item. Click, double click an item. Double clicking opens things up. Let's see. Let's go down here. Double click opens this up. Shows you stuff. Okay. Right click. We've already gone through that to get menus. Dynamic menus. Scroll wheel. Already showed you that. Scrolling in. Oops. I don't want to capture the 3D view. I want to get out of here. I want to do back to models. Come on. Models. There we go. Scroll in, scroll out. Hold the scroll button down to rotate up and down. So I can get back to my old orientation. I could have hit this button too. Okay, that is the end of chapter 1. That's all, folks.